Hi guys, it's Miss Skaggs. I'm going to get you going on your math assignment for today and solve the very first problem. So please follow along as I'm solving this so you can practice using the success criteria for today so you can be successful on your DAQ at the end of the lesson. So the work you're doing today are the questions you created on Friday in class. So some of these are going to look familiar because you created them with your groups. And you may also be able to tell some of the other groups, hey, that's one I created. Let's see if you can figure out the problem that I created for the graph. So I hope you guys have fun solving these problems. So the goal today is that you can solve one-step and two-step problems by analyzing the graphs and use the data from the graph to solve that problem. So you're going to be looking at your graphs, trying to figure out what numbers they're representing, the data, and using those numbers to solve word problems. All right, so let's get started on this first one. So this first bar graph is titled Kids' Favorite Fruits. So we have a lot of fruits in this table, and it says the bar graph shows the favorite fruits of kids that attend Washington Elementary School. So the paper we had on Friday had a different school name, but I changed it and put our school on here. So before we start solving the problem, we've got to label the table to see what numbers are being represented. So in a bar graph, there are intervals at the bottom. So if you look at the bottom on this one, it's going from 0 to 10. So the intervals are counting by tens. So if a bar stops in between your tens, you would be counting by fives. Between 0 to 10 would be 5. So you'd add 5 more if your bar is increasing to the right. So let's go through and label the table. So please be writing what I'm writing as I'm going through. I write it, you write it, right? Please go ahead and write your number and your name. Every time the same. Write your number and your whole name if you have not done that yet. So let's start labeling these bars. First fruit is mangoes. So I'm going to go across and straight down. And that mango bar is stopping at a 20. So your work's on paper, so go ahead and write that down. Apples, that bar stops at 60. Grapes, that bar represents the number 80. A lot of kids like bananas, 100. Looks like that was the most popular fruit in this survey. And then oranges are between 40 and 50. So that would be 45, since that number would be right in the middle of 40 and 50. Okay, so now we did step one. We labeled our table. Now we're going to read the word problem so we can identify what we have to do to solve. So it says, A, what is the total of apple and banana votes? So the clue that I'm seeing is total. So if I'm going to be totaling some votes, I'm going to be adding them up. Okay? And remember, we made those two posters on the wall in the classroom to give you some clues of words that could mean to add or could mean to subtract. They do not always mean that. So make sure you read it in context to the question. So for this one, we are looking at the fruits, apples, and bananas. So if I'm looking back at the table, apples, that number is a 60. And bananas, B for banana, that number is 100. And we're looking for the total of these, so I'm going to add them up. And this is a problem you could probably do in your head, but please go ahead and show the equation you used to solve on your paper so I know what you were thinking when you were solving this problem, and I know how to better help you if you make a mistake. All right, in my tens place, 6 plus 0 is 6, and no hundreds in this one. It's okay if you put the greater number on top. I probably should have done that as well. So it looks like the total, when I put these numbers together, the total of apples and bananas, I'm going to change this. I'm going to say the total votes. The total apple and banana votes are 160. Okay. So make sure you are answering the question as well, because these are not multiple choice. So as you are going through these problems, your success criteria to make sure you are not missing any steps. Step one, make sure you label the table or any information in your graph. If you have a bar graph, check out your interval. If you have a pictograph, make sure you are looking at your key. And if you need to create a key for what half of that picture would be. You may also need to label your dot plot to make sure you know which information is represented on the number line and which one's represented by the dots. So step one, label your table, label the graph. Step two, read through your question carefully and see what you are going to have to do to solve that problem. Okay, and step number 3, check your math. Make sure you added correctly, see if you had to regroup, and make sure if you decided you had to add that you actually added and did not subtract. So as you're going through, label the table. What do you need to do to solve? Check your math at the end. Hope you guys have a good day and work very hard and make sure you turn everything in with your name on it. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye.